Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we are on the Pioneer server, so keep in mind that the content is subject to change before the official release. But as you can see, we have Saida here and the Hypogean who will be coming on August 1st to the global servers, and we're going to go through her entire skill descriptions and the multipliers, and then I'm going to show you some replays of the testing I've done in dual battle. Overall, honestly, she's performing pretty well in PvP. Now for Dream Realm, there hasn't been enough testing done because unfortunately the Dream Realm kind of just opened for Pioneer server a couple of hours ago today. So maybe in the upcoming days we will have more information about that. Okay, so looking at her ultimate ability, first of all, she is a Hypogean rogue with a range of 1 magic damage dealer. Now, her ultimate ability, Seed Siphon, it begins with 600 energy, which is really nice, especially because she is a heavily ult-dependent hero. As long as she can cast a couple of ultimates, she's really going to start taking off. And from the testing that I was doing, basically she is the best stalling hero in the game. If you thought Igor was good at stalling, Saida is on a completely another level. And also her damage output is pretty high as well. But of course, with stall, she is going to be weak to hyper carries who can nuke her, like whether it be Cryonaya, Chimera, Athalia, these heroes who can kill her before she begins becoming too annoying and stalling. That is really the way to counter her. So Seed Siphon, 600 pre-fill energy active. Saida will teleport in front of an enemy, preventing them from moving or acting. She then deals damage, decent multiplier, and drains 220 energy from the enemy, which is also a pretty decent amount. She remains unaffected while doing this, and then she plants a drain seed in the enemy, and she prioritizes enemies without a drain seed to try and basically seed all of the enemy heroes. This seed drops to the ground if its host is defeated or if Saida uses her ultimate on its host again. So basically, in order for her to begin getting these drain seeds dropped on the ground, which is important for her whole kit, she needs to either kill the enemy who she's planted the seed on, or she needs to recast her ultimate onto that target. But as you guys can see, she will prioritize the targets without the drain seed. And so basically, until all enemies have drain seeds, she's probably not going to recast onto that hero. But if Saida uses her ultimate on his host again, up to 8 drain seeds can exist on the battlefield at the same time. In boss fights, drain seeds on the ground will not obstruct unit movement, which is good. Passive every 2.5 seconds. Drain seeds deal damage to his host and also reduce the energy by 120. So this has been a change compared to if you guys watched the skill trailer of her where she was reducing 150 energy. This is going to be 120 energy reduction and some damage as well every 2.5 seconds, which is and this is going to be even when the seed is planted onto an enemy target. Even before it drops onto the ground. Okay, now Crimson Claim is going to be her skill 2. This is a 6-second cooldown, initial cooldown of 0. Now, the passive portion, Saida restores HP equal to 100% of the damage dealt by her normal attacks and skills. Any excess healing from this effect is converted into a shield. The shield value cannot exceed, but this is really high, 3000% of her attack multiplier. That is massive. So basically, she is going to have a lot of self-protection by shielding herself, healing herself back up with all of the damage that she deals from her normal attacks and also her skills. So that is actually really good for her survival. Then the active, Saida forms a blood spike to pierce an enemy, dealing pretty decent damage and interrupting their action. If any drain seeds are within 1 tile of the enemy, so even if they're planted on the ground, each one also forms blood spikes to strike that enemy, dealing 30% attack multiplier damage. Now, this damage, I don't know exactly what this attack multiplier is meaning, because 30% should seem really low. But her blood spikes actually do deal a lot of damage. But there's other things in her kit which are related to this. So we will carry on. So Revenant Sprout, this is not going to have any cooldown. When Saida is defeated, she consumes a drain seed to revive at the seed's position. Now, I believe this drain seed, I don't know if, for example, a drain seed planted onto an enemy can also be used to revive herself, or if it has to be planted onto the ground. Like, that is not completely clear to me right now, but she consumes a drain seed to revive at the seed's position, restoring a percentage of health. She prioritizes the oldest seed available and restores an extra percentage of health for each second the consumed seed existed. The extra HP restored cannot exceed 50% of her health, and with level ups, it cannot exceed 80% of her health. The longer this is available on the battlefield, and the more health she is going to basically respawn with. And from the sounds of it, honestly, it feels like this drain seed is applying even when it is marked onto an enemy, or even if it's on an ally, because you're going to see that she can even give drain seeds to allies as well, and I think she will respawn. I don't know exactly, but it's sounding like that from the wording. Saida reduces her damage taken by up to 20% during battle. That's high, and she further reduces her damage taken by an extra 4% for each existing drain seed, up to a maximum of 20%. And you're going to see that she actually starts with 2 drain seeds on allies at the beginning. So right from the beginning of the match, she's going to have a 28% basically damage reduction. And as she plants more and more, it is going to get higher and higher. So this gives her, again, more survival, which is very needed for a kit. Now her exclusive skill, Deepening Roots, no cooldown on this. Saida reduces the damage dealt by enemies afflicted with a drain seed by 35%. That's also really strong, right? Massive damage reduction onto the enemy target who she's fighting. And that's making them almost, honestly, is heavily reducing their capability of nuking you, especially if they're a damage dealer. And each time she casts her ultimate, the interval between drain seed attack effects is shortened by 0.5 seconds, up to a maximum reduction of 1.5 seconds for the current battle. This is also really strong. The drain seed attack effects, if you guys need to be reminded, is every 2.5 seconds dealing this damage and also reducing their energy. Now, it can reduce by up to 1.5 seconds. That is 2.5 minus 1.5, which is 1 second. So every 1 second, the drain seeds can be applying this effect, which is damage and also energy reduction of 120. That is very powerful into any enemy that is hit with the drain seed. Then increases damage dealt by drain seeds. Wow, okay. And then when Saida has shortened the interval between drain seeds attack effects to its limit, which is 1.5 seconds reduction, with Deepening Roots, she deals 1,200% attack damage to all enemies and traps them with blood spikes. This is the powerful one. This is the one that deals high damage. And I guess because this is also blood spikes, that's why it was kind of confusing. The skill we saw earlier, preventing them from moving or acting. If an enemy becomes unaffected, they are temporarily freed, but the trap resumes once the unaffected effect ends. So like it will delay and wait for them to lose their unaffected and then lock them in, trapping them and also dealing damage. Each enemy is always trapped for a total of 45 seconds. This I don't understand. Each enemy is always trapped for a total of 45 seconds. I don't understand what this means. You guys, we'll show you the replay and you can try to pay attention to what's going on. I don't know what they mean by 45 seconds. I'm confused by that. But taking 160% attack damage per second while trapped, maybe it means that the damage just keeps ticking over time for 45-second duration. 160% damage after this is activated. It could just be like that, kind of like a Bonnie debuff, but onto all enemies. And then her enhanced force is very powerful. This is exactly what I was thinking would make her kind of more relevant compared to the skill trailer we saw. Because in skill trailers, they never talk about the enhanced force ability. So when a battle starts, Saida plants drain seeds in 2 nearby allied heroes. So like that is already going to basically give her the damage reduction here of 28%. It is going to give her things to respawn, targets to respawn from, I'm pretty sure. And then all of the other bonuses she has basically from having drain seeds on the battlefield. And these drain seeds are not going to harm the allies, so they're no negative effect, but they're going to grant a shield that can absorb up to 800% of her attack multiplier's damage. So overall, she has a really loaded and stacked kit. It's kind of insane, honestly speaking. But the thing is, there is no, like, the damage here, there's no HP per second damage as far as we can see here. And so, like, I don't think she's going to be good for Dream Realm. And all of her, even her charms, we can take a look at her charms right now. They are all about like multiple enemy targets, whether it be AFK stages, whether it be PvP. You know, this stacking bleeding onto all of her targets. It does have physical magical defense shred, which, you know, you might think could be useful for boss content. However, that's really minor. And also, she just doesn't have, I don't know. Personally, I just don't think that she's going to be amazing for boss Dream Realm content, but we have to wait and see. Because if she is, then she's going to be kind of a jack of all trades. Because I'm definitely seeing her for PvP. She is the ultimate stalling queen and high damage output as well. It's very, very difficult to kill her. However, Cryonaya can freeze and insta-kill her, so definitely that still works. You would have to protect her with like a Dunlinger, and that's why I'm going to now show you my dual defense. This is probably one of the strongest defense I was able to come up with from all the testing. You have double threat of Thalia and Saida, who's going to stall well. You have Dunlinger to prevent them from like Cryonaya nuking you. And then you have Pandora as well. So Pandora we haven't talked about really in detail. That'll be probably another video. But basically Pandora is a really good support. And I'm having her support the Saida. So if we take a look and show you some of the history. Look at my logs. Generally, this is showing you, and people are coming at me with all types of things. Even sometimes Saida of their own, Cryonaya type teams. So here you're going to see it. We are the red side. So you'll just have to try to pay close attention to what Saida is doing. Because it's kind of difficult to tell exactly what's going on. And she's not going to be able to cast her ultimate, of course, until the Dunlinger Bell wears off. So now they get off the Crying Eye ultimate, right? But we have the massive shielding from Saida. We have other shields. The Crying Eye is going to kill my Pandora, but the box of Pandora is still going to remain. If Crying Eye was able to kill Saida here, she would be turned into an ice sculpture. She would not be able to respawn. They would have won the game. But because she was not able to do it, now we kill the Crying Eye, and it's just a matter of time. We're going to stall them out. They just cannot kill Saida. You're going to see her. She will not die. She's going to spawn from all of her different drain seeds. When she kills an enemy target, that is going to also drop a drain seed. So you're going to see it right here. That there's not really much they can do from this point. Like, unless your Crying Eye nukes the Saida, she's just going to solo the entire team. Like, easily. You're seeing that right here. And she has 3 more different drain seeds she could respawn from. Right? 3 still left on the map. Even if she was going to take damage. And Odie will not counter her. She will just respawn. Just like Odie counters Igor, right? It is not going to counter Saida because she will respawn. The only way to counter her is the freeze ice sculpture of Crying Eye. Because that does counter her. But let's show you an example of how this has been defeated. Shamir, okay, there's a Crying Eye team that managed to get it done. So, really similar type team. Now, if the Crying Eye, all it takes is for Crying Eye to have enough firepower to just nuke your, and turn into an ice sculpture to the Saida, then there's not much she can do. You're going to see that right here. But if Crying Eye does not do it, then Saida is really going to stall out the team. And that's why you kind of have to run Dunlinger with Saida, otherwise she's going to be too easy, like within 4 seconds, she's just going to get one shot and popped by the Crying Eye. So you're going to see it now. There we go. She's turned into the ice sculpture. She's not going to respawn. It's GG. Game over. So Crying Eye is probably the most like foolproof way to counter Saida, but Shamira can also counter her. I'm going to try to show you a replay of Shamira being able to counter just with her damage output. There were people running Shamira and Athalia against me, and they were able to defeat it. So let's hopefully find someone who is running a Shamira team. Anyway, guys, unfortunately, there's no one on my list that has attacked, like right currently, that has beaten me with Shamira. However, do trust me in that I'm saying that Shamira has the potential to kill Saida and beat this, because the same team I was running, it was defeated in the past by Shamira Thalia combos. Of course with Dunlinger as well, because like the way to counter the enemy Saida, especially if you have Dunlinger supporting her, you need to also bring Dunlinger of your own, otherwise she's going to cycle ultimates way too quickly and then plant a lot of drain seeds, and then you're heavily nuked, right? You're heavily nerfed in terms of your damage output. So overall, Saida is really strong for PvP. Honestly, kind of meta, especially for stall-oriented strategies, very good. For Dream Realm, I am not convinced. We're going to have to wait and see from testing, but as of her kit, I just don't see how she could be good for Dream Realm, like in terms of all the good options we have. If you guys have any other thoughts about Saida, you can feel free to share them in the comment section down below. What do you think about her? Are you planning to recruit for her? But it is probably looking like a skip for the free-to-play light spenders because of the fact that she's probably not good for Dream Realm. I think she's just a PvP hero, but a pretty beastly, like, stall PvP hero, and difficult to deal with. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this one. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. Also, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. And finally, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. There's a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me at no extra cost to you. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.